you know, if you look at other candidates, they never talk about bringing money. All they talk about is cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare, cutting Medicaid. People pay into Social Security their whole lives. All of a sudden, Republicans, people running for us, they want to cut it. I want to bring money back into the country, bring jobs back into the country, take them away from China, take them away from Japan, take them away from all of these countries that are ripping us. Okay?
Mr.
Thank
Trump,
you. Good question.
Mr. Trump, do you regret the tweet that you sent out on Monday night referring to the president and the Baltimore riots?
Which tweet is that?
Do you regret
Do you want
that?
to read it? No, not at all. Why would I regret it?
I mean, you got lots of flack.
No, I don't regret it. No, and a lot of people agree. Why? Because I said he's an African American. What's wrong with that? What's
Comparing
wrong with
him
it?
to- I'm not
You're
answering
asking me a
questions.
question. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with it. A lot of people like the tweet. Okay?
So you got a lot of positive feedback?
I get a lot of positive feedback here. It's true. Baltimore has gone to hell, and there's no leadership. So there's nothing wrong with it. Okay? Go
Mr.
ahead.
Trump.
Yes, ma'am.
As a well-known developer, I was wondering what the role of owners and developers in ensuring construction jobs are good jobs. And by good jobs, I mean, you know, well-paying, career-ready. I'm with Construction Citizen, and we're really trying to promote the image of the construction company. So I'm just wondering, as a developer,
Construction
what's
is
your-
jobs. You know, part of the problem we have in this country, our jobs have been taken away from us. They're going to other places, other countries, so many. Construction is beautiful because it's jobs. I'd like to see building factories though. Because you know, we have service jobs. We're not building, we're not making like we used to. We used to make things. We're not making things now. So I'd like to see construction, but I'd love to see the construction of factories, manufacturing plants. That's what we need in this country more than anything.
Oh. And as an owner and developer, do you think that they have a role in making sure that the construction industry's image is better though, and kind of
Sure.
workers' classification,
I think the
wage
industry is-
theft, all the.
Look, during good markets, it's great. During bad markets, it's not so good. But no, I think the industry, the industry is fine. But what we need in this country is jobs. Okay? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
In your opinion, how the multiculturalism can help to grow a business?
It can be great. It can be great. But we have to have a border. We have to have a country. We don't have a country. When you have people coming over by the millions, they're coming over by the millions through the border like it's water, like it's a sieve. You can't do that. You can't have a country like that. People have to come into the country legally, not illegally. But as far as your question is concerned, it could be fantastic, but it's got to be done the right way. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Do you have one? Yes.
What's the biggest challenge that Republicans face in 2016?
Well, I would say the unfair media. I think that, and I tell this to people, it's much easier to be a Democrat, especially if you're a liberal Democrat. I think it's the unfair media. The media is very dishonest when it comes to Republicans and conservative Republicans. If a Republican did what Hillary Clinton did, that person would already be in jail. You understand what I'm saying? That person would be in jail. It's very tough to be a conservative Republican because the press is very dishonest. The political press, it's interesting because I have lots of different press. I find the financial press, generally speaking, pretty reliable and honest. I find the political press, and I think some of the political reporters are fabulous and very honorable. But I find the political press to be a big portion of it, very, very dishonest. So I think that's the biggest problem a Republican will have. Now, you have to pick the right candidate, you have to make sure you get the right person. But you start off with a negative because the press is very biased against, and they're very dishonest, a lot of them. Yes, anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
What are your thoughts on how divided the country is politically?
Well, it's very divided politically, it's very divided racially. I mean, the country is going through hell. Our country is going through hell right now. And Baltimore is just the beginning. Because we have many Baltimores in this country. It's all waiting to happen.
What do you think the answer is?
Jobs, education, leadership. Not an easy answer. Don't forget, the federal government has pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into Baltimore. You know, they can say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. The fact is, they've spent hundreds of millions of dollars in Baltimore. So that's not the, you know, the money is not the answer. You need jobs, you need leadership, you need people that other people look up to and respect and admire. and emulate, that's what you need. Yes.
Sir, Bobby with American Prosperity. In Texas, we're looking at reducing the margins tax, but actually eliminating the margins tax, which is the gross tax on all gross receipts, whether or not a business makes a profit or not. As a large business owner, how does that what bearing does that have on your decision to move a business to a state?
Well, no, anything, I mean, one of the great things about Texas happens to be your taxes. Anything having to do with reducing taxes is a good thing. You know, the United States is the most heavily taxed country in the world. And some people say maybe it's probably the heaviest, but the most heavily taxed, burdened country in the world. Anything we can do to reduce taxes is a positive. Okay, anything else? Yes.
Are you running for president?
I'm looking at it very, very seriously.
When
And
could
I'll
we
make a
expect an
decision in
announcement?
June or July, and you will be very surprised at what my decision will be. You in particular will be very, very surprised. And we have tremendous, I mean, like tonight, they've never had a crowd like this. It's packed, it's sold out, and I just got back from Iowa. We had the biggest crowds that they've ever had. There are a lot of people, and they don't want to see. You know what it is? I don't know, do they like Donald Trump or not? Although I think I'm a nice person. I help a lot of people. I've employed tens of thousands of people over the years. That includes education and everything. But I will tell you, I think the reason that there is this incredible amount of enthusiasm, for me, it's very simple. People don't want to see our country being ripped off. We are being ripped off by China, by Mexico, by everybody. We don't make good deals. Everybody looks at us as a joke, as a laughing stock. They rip us left and right. We really don't know what we're doing in terms of leadership. Our leaders are incompetent. They're incompetent. So they know one thing: if I run and if I win, this country will not be ripped off anymore. We won't be making Bergdahl deals where we get Bergdahl and they get 5 killers that they've wanted for years. Those deals won't be happening anymore. That's why we have such big crowds like tonight. Yes, go ahead.
What will be the deciding factor?
There is no deciding factor. In my mind, I've already made a decision.
And so in June or July?
June, July. Yeah.
As a college
You'll be
student,
happy.
as a college student myself, I was curious if you have a plan for lowering the increasing cost of higher education, because right now, at least 70% of college students are graduating every year with a minimum of $28,000 in debt.
It's a very fair question. I'll tell you something. When I speak at colleges, I get so many questions about debt, student loans and debt. And these are wonderful colleges, wonderful students like yourselves, where they go and they work and they borrow money to get through college. They come out, they don't have a job. It's all about jobs. We've got to have jobs. We've got to take jobs back from China and all of these countries that are ripping us. And people, we have plenty of jobs, but they're all gone.
Do you think you'd be able to have, how would you negotiate with China
So
successfully?
easy. So you have no idea. I made a fortune off China. You'll see that. Hey, when I file papers, the assumption I'm going to run, when I file papers, you're going to see something that's amazing. And one of the things you're going to see is how much money I made against China. I made a fortune against China. I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in San Francisco. I own a big chunk of 1290 Avenue of the Americas. I made a fortune against China. And believe me, you know, it's very interesting. Business Week magazine did a story. What do the Chinese most want? 10 things. One of the top 10 things, anything Trump. I was surprised to see it because I hit him very hard. And I don't dislike China. I like them. I have a lot of friends from China. They can't believe what they get away. They call me up. They say, I can't believe that your government can be so stupid. They can't believe it. I don't dislike them. They give me $20, $30 million for an apartment. Am I supposed to dislike them? I like them very much. But what I don't like is what they're able to do, because their leaders are much smarter than our leader and our leaders. And those days would be over, believe me. If I ran and won, this country would be great again. Okay, yes.
To expound upon this lady's point here, would you ever consider investing in the fourth largest state in the country, Texas,
I love
as
Texas.
far as putting in factories?
Well, I love Texas.
Because I think you do quite well.
I would. I think I do. I've always done well in real estate.
What do you think
Real
about
estate's been very-
immigration of Muslims coming into the country and the persecution of Christians that's happening, that's kind of being
I
ignored
think
right
it's
now?
terrible that Christians are being persecuted. I mean, we have, as an example, right now, we have 4 people in Iran, and our president doesn't even talk about them. And everybody wants them back. And one of them is there because he's a Christian, he's a minister, he's a pastor. We have 4 people. And if we had a real leader and the right messenger, before you even start these negotiations, you'd have them out. Now, the nuclear is the most important thing we can negotiate right now. Okay? The most important thing we can do. But before you even start those negotiations, they should let those 4 people out. We don't even bring it up. We've never brought it up. John Kerry doesn't talk about it. If he was the right guy, which he's not, he's like a baby. The Iranians are very good negotiators, always have been. The Persians are great negotiators. And they're master chess players. And we have checker players, and not good ones. So all of that would change. All of that.